Britain is an island nation. Would you believe no part of this wonderful piece of land is more than 72 miles from the sea? We simply love the coast and we love the sea. Been in it, been on it, been near it. But it's not all fun and games. Problems can occur, which is why we need an army of 4,500 heroes. Coast to coast, the volunteers range from gas fitters to teachers, doctors to chefs, all men and women of the RNLI. They're ready to launch 24/7 when the request comes in from the Coastguard to answer a Mayday call.
In these programmes, the RNLI are inviting you into their world, giving you exclusive access to the views that to date only crews actually see close up. Now, there are 235 lifeboat stations from beyond the northernmost tip of Scotland to the southernmost coastal regions of England. And nearly half of them use helmet cams, capturing those incredible moments of rescue and putting you right in the middle of the action.
Coming up, a man falls 100 feet down treacherous Torbay cliffs. A catamaran crew fails to heed advice and faces disaster.
It's not working. We can't get it back up.
And Buster is saved just in time after leaping 20 feet over the quayside. Brixham, near Torbay on the south coast of Devon, is a bit of a tourist magnet. Every summer season, over 2 million visitors come to this stretch of coastline. So with that many people, it's no surprise that there's the odd spot of bother on the water. Fortunately, there are 30 volunteers from all walks of life in Torbay who have something nobody else has. An RNLI pager that they must respond to at a moment's notice.
It's a big-time adrenaline. You never know what you're going to be going out for next.
Most of them were busy with their day jobs when artist Simon Torbay set off on a stunning clifftop walk while holidaying in the area. Little did he realise it would be 24 hours that almost cost him his life.
I was going down the path, and from being upright, I was suddenly on my face, slipping down this bank. I was desperately trying to grab onto some grass or dig my fingers into the mud, but the mud was too hard. Then I realised that I was going to go over, and at that point I thought, this is it, I am going to die. The next thing I knew, I was sitting on a rock at the bottom. Fortunately, I had my mobile in, and I rang 999.
Go down a bit.
The Torbay crew is instantly dispatched, including helmsman Alex Rowe, a local GP who's at his surgery when his pager springs into life.
From what we heard initially was a man who'd fallen down some cliffs over near Meadfoot Beach, which is on the far side of Torbay and quite a long way away, really.
I got a call, which I thought was my husband, phoning to say that he was fine. And it was the Coastguard telling me that my husband had fallen down the cliff.
The inshore lifeboat races to the casualty, with crewmen Matt and Darryl also on board.
It was obviously urgent because there was somebody in difficulty, but at that point, the fact that they'd fallen down a very steep cliff hadn't come to light.
They had sent a paramedic round for me to help find exactly where he was on the top of from the top of the cliff. Lorraine and I, the paramedic, came out and shouted down for Simon.
I had been there for quite a while, and then I heard my wife's voice calling out my name, Simon.
But spotting Simon is only the start.
Initially, the details were fairly sketchy about the injuries, so I put Matt ashore to do the initial assessment.
Get ready to go. It's a little bit of a tricky transfer. There's a lot of swap and there's a lot of submerged rocks as well.
So we actually have to be pretty careful with the boat. It can be pushed around quite a lot. and you can certainly damage the boat, damage the propeller, and that'll make it tricky to get back out again. Hey, Matt.
With Matt on shore, Alex pulls back to wait for his casualty report.
Torbay ILB crew ashore. The casualty has quite deep cuts to their head, what appears to be a broken left arm, and a lot of swelling on their right leg.
Then the Coastguard reveals the full horror of what happened to Simon.
Knowing the location the guy fell from, he's fallen at least 100 foot down to his current location, over.
Torbay mobile, Torbay, yeah, okay, in that case that sort of changes it quite significantly as well. Things are going to struggle with it.
As soon as we realised that it was a more serious medical situation and that we weren't going to be able to get him onto the boat very easily, we'd called for a helicopter.
An airlift may have been the answer, but unfortunately for Simon, the nearest helicopter was based at the Solent, around 100 miles away.
If we do get a helicopter, you're looking at probably 20-25 minutes, I think, at the earliest.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Alex, you've got Darryl there. I think it'd probably be better if you were ashore, mate.
Faced with a long wait before the helicopter arrives, Alex leaps into action. As a trained GP with trauma experience, it is now imperative he gets ashore. Alex must use all his medical knowledge to assess just how serious Simon's injuries are.
Hi, I'm Alex.
This is Simon.
Hi, Simon. How you doing, mate?
Could be better.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm a doctor as well. Nice to meet you. So, I think just do a bit of an assessment, if that's all right. Let's have a look at you. No problems with your breathing? No. You're obviously talking to me. That's absolutely fine. I want to have a feel of your neck, if that's all right. Any tingling or numbness or any symptoms in your arms? OK, fine. I'm just going to feel the back of your neck and hold your head. Any headache at the moment?
Having fallen 100 feet, Alex's main concerns are whether Simon has any spinal or neck injuries, which could lead to paralysis.
So we've got a helicopter on the way, and we'll get you off to Torbay Hospital, all right? But what we'll need to do is actually immobilise you properly, because you've had a big old fall.
Alex begins to prepare Simon for the airlift. 20 minutes after the rescue boat reached him, Coastguard 106 arrives to winch him to safety.
Rescue 106, this is ILB, Dr. Crew ashore, over.
But reaching Simon won't be easy.
It was quite tricky for the helicopters to get in because there was an overhang from the cliff, so they were having to push the limits of what they were doing to get as close as possible.
The arrival of the paramedic provides an extra pair of hands and a stretcher to immobilise Simon.
Given the injury, he probably had a broken tibia and fibula of his right lower leg, as well as the bleeding from the head injury and a hot day. Chances are he was going to be pretty dehydrated, so we decided to put a drip in.
What Alex and the paramedic couldn't have known at the time was that Simon also had a broken vertebrae in his neck, making the winch even more dangerous. Despite the pain, Simon's got only one thing on his mind.
Just worried about my wife and please let her know that I'm fine. I have. Yeah. And that's the worst thing. I don't want her to worry.
No, don't worry, I've told her that you're awake, that you're talking, okay. And the Coastguard will take you to Torbay to meet you there.
Okay. It's just a miracle that I survived. A fall like that, I could have broken my back, I could have ended up in a wheelchair, anything. I got off very lightly.
Right, we're going to get you onto the stretcher now, all right? So we're going to roll you slightly towards me. Yeah, so you help me. Well done, Simon. Good stuff. Not for long.
I was just looking straight upwards, so all I could see at that stage was this great thing hovering above me, and the noise was terrific. I remember being winched up. You're just in everyone else's hands, and it's not a sort of situation you want to be in, but I knew that's how it had to be.
When I saw him being winched up, I thought, He's going to be okay. He's going to be all right. I turned to Lorraine and gave her a big hug.
I wish I could do this every day instead of sitting in my bed. I've done a lot of sailing, I've done a lot of time at sea. I'm a doctor, I've got trauma experience, so to be able to tie all that experience together in one situation to help somebody is really quite a rewarding.
Simon eventually made a full recovery, even using his accident as inspiration for his art.
I never thought in my life that I would be one of their rescuees, so I am so grateful to them.
Now, RNLI crews are used to rescuing struggling swimmers and novice mariners, but when the weather gets really, really rough, even hardy sailors can find themselves in trouble.
In Brighton, a howling wind and crashing waves persuaded members of the sailing club to cancel plans for a sailing and camping trip. Nonetheless, for experienced helmsman Ben Simon and friend Damien with their two-hulled racing catamaran, the feisty conditions were too good to resist.
I had the boat rigged up. We'd been here for like 2 or 3 hours, and my crew was very sort of gung-ho and wanted to get out. So we, went out for a sail.
Armed with a video camera strapped to Ben's chest, no sooner do they hit the water than they are racing out to sea at an alarming rate of knots. The wind gets faster, the waves get rougher, and suddenly, disaster strikes.
In those kind of winds, it's very quick. You just, one thing happens and you're over.
You're right.
They're in the drink, and while Ben is used to the occasional dip in the ocean, his crew is far less experienced.
You come and stand at the back of this hull with me. We'll flip it. I don't know what I'm doing, so just tell me what to do. Don't expect that I'm going to know anything, which I don't know.
Can you go at the bottom of the rope and I'll go ahead of you? Maybe tie the rope around you?
But the usual technique of righting the overturned catamaran doesn't work.
It's just not heavy enough. I don't know why. What happened was it's an old boat and the mast filled up with water, so it's just too heavy to pull back upright. It's not working.
No matter what they do, the boat remains firmly horizontal.
I don't know what to do, Damien, I'm not sure. I mean, at this rate, we're going to wash up somewhere over there.
And they are fast heading for trouble.
If anything, we'll probably have to ditch the boat and swim in before the harbour wall, but I was worried, not really for my boat's sake, but more for the, people on board. And at one point I did say, if it comes to the crunch, we need to jump ship and swim in with plenty of space between us and the harbour wall, because it gets very, there's loads of turbulence and you could get smacked up against it, and once you're unconscious, then, that's probably game over.
By now, they've been in the water for nearly an hour. They're becoming cold and tired when at last help arrives.
The others are coming over.
The only other member of the sailing club to brave the high seas that day has spotted Ben's capsized boat.
They came over and gave us one of their crew, whilst the other boat just sort of sailed around gently. And even with the three of us, we sort of couldn't right the boat. And all this time we're drifting sort of closer and closer towards the harbour wall.
By now, Ben's sailing friends on shore had become increasingly concerned. The boats had long since drifted out of sight, so they decided to raise the alarm.
As we launched through the entrance here, it was a big day weather-wise. It was moderate to rough with a good 2 to 3 metre waves breaking in the entrance, so it was very heavy conditions. We arrived on scene approximately 3 or 4 minutes after launching. It was very evident what the problem was. There was a catamaran on its side with 3 fellas trying to turn it the right way up again.
Afternoon! You all right? No, we can't get it back up. I think it's full of water or something, because we just can't get it up, even with 3 of us.
First consideration when we arrive on scene is, are the people okay? It can be extremely frightening to be out alone in the sea with potentially no assistance.
We'll go up to the head of your mast and put it here, and we'll lift it up for you. All right? Cheers, guys. No worries.
As the sailboat drifts ever closer to a pounding against Brighton's harbour wall, the lifeboat crew become aware that there's little they can do from their boat.
We quickly realised that we couldn't get very close to the head of the mast without the other crew member who was going to try to take hold of the top of the mast, injuring themselves when the boat was pushed into the catamaran.
Would it be easier to go more?
Plan B was to pass a tow rope to the casualty and get them to attach it so that we could pull the vessel head to wind.
We were a little concerned for their well-being. They've been in the water for a while, getting cold and tired.
You happy?
After a few moments, it hadn't come back up right again. We decided to put one of our chaps on board to add a bit of extra weight in there to hopefully pull it back up right again.
It's the last resort, and helmsman Mark keeps a careful eye on his crew in the water, while also watching out for freak waves. But having towed the catamaran back into the wind, the boat rights itself before the crewman can reach it. It seems even the mere presence of an RNLI rescuer in the water is enough to do the trick. Crewman Jez makes a final check on the sailors before giving the all clear.
I bet they're all absolutely exhausted.
Well, given that the dinghy crew were still fit and in command of things, it's much easier for them to sail back to the beach. It's much quicker, much safer, so that's what we let them do.
With the wind still howling, Ben is soon back at the helm, but this time under the watchful eye of the lifeboat.
I suppose up to that moment I was feeling quite responsible for my crew, and it was great to see them and have them sort of on hand to help out.
Safely back on the beach, the two friends have a good news story to tell and second thoughts about the day's sailing trip.
I conclude that we don't go.
Just along the coast at Littlehampton, the RNLI crew there undertake about 100 call-outs a year. Oh, bye-bye then. And it's not just people they rescue, it's animals too. The worry is owners will put themselves at risk trying to rescue their pets.
Littlehampton, West Sussex, is where the River Arun meets the sea. But along the harbour side, Littlehampton's dog population have been finding themselves caught short.
River, just up there, the West Beach actually comes up really close and high up to the breakwater, and we do get quite a lot of dogs deciding that they want to try and jump the river.
There's been a spate of dogs off their leads, running along the quayside paths and finding it's too late to stop.
It can be very, very dangerous. I mean, the Arun's not a slow-moving river, it's one of the fastest in the country, and if they do get caught, they could be out into the open water very, very quickly.
It's becoming a regular call for the crew of the Littlehampton lifeboat. Today, it's Buster the terrier's turn to take an early bath. And for council maintenance worker Ivan Greer, it's time to down tools at the town hall.
Well, I was just about to finish work, a pager went off, dashed down here to the boathouse and was told it was a dog in the river. You got it? This small terrier type dog, just barely floating. We could just about see his head 1 minute, next minute we lost his head.
It was only a small little thing, and it was running out of steam. He couldn't get up the steps where the people were trying to make him swim to. It was getting very, very tired, and it was literally just about giving up, I think, when we got there.
Solent Coastguard, this is Littlehampton ILB. For your information, we are launched on service. Crew numbers 1, 17 and 20.
Trying to get over the front of the boat to get Buster, but Buster was getting a bit scared by then, and he'd gone underneath the front of the boat. kept going underwater. He was struggling a little bit, going underneath the water. It was quite lucky because he went underneath and came up just where I could see him. So I jumped and grabbed him and got him on the boat very quickly. Poor little dog, he was almost given up. He was shaking, he could hardly move, really struggling to breathe when we first got him out. We got him back here as quickly as possible.
We have actually got the dog now and we're returning to the station. River?
Raced him back up to the boathouse here, where we managed to try and get some towels around him and get him a bit warmer.
Can we grab some blankets?
Wrapped him up in some nice towels, nice warm towels, and just gave him a lot of warmth.
Yeah, okay. He went under.
And when he stopped shaking and he was actually starting to breathe a little bit better, we were quite grateful, actually.
Get him warm as possible.
Now, I know you two were worried, but I'm delighted to say, since his brush with death, Buster has made a full recovery, but the problem hasn't gone away. Since then, 7 other dogs have tried to jump the River Arun. So here's a message to all dogs out there, including you pair. Stop this crazy canine stuff, OK? Enough. Off you go now. There'll be more from the men and women of the RNLI next time as they answer those Mayday calls from up and down Britain's beautiful coastline.